Hey, Cathy, can you hear me okay? 'Cause I can't hear anything coming from your end. See if my volume is up over here. Unmute. That's good. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I can't hear you at all. I got no volume coming from your end.
Can you hear me?
Can I hear you now? Yeah, loud and clear.
Awesome. So I
Okay.
just talked for a few minutes and
Okay.
nobody heard me then. Okay.
Okay. So I just turned down my volume so I can hear you. So I don't. And a couple of times when I did this with some other people, I was getting a double echo because I had to close down. I had too many browsers that were open. Yeah.
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 I'm
So
going to
okay,
try
go
one
ahead.
more. I'm going to try one more just to see if this works. Oh my goodness. That's just horrible. But this is how life goes. Things work, they don't.
Oh yeah, tell me
And
about it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Every day is
Can
an
you still hear,
adventure.
can you still hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. So then it
good.
was actually the other set of earbuds that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
So tell me about yourself first of all, because I know you've
Sure.
been watching some of my videos, so I can get a little general idea. So when I bounce back and forth
Sure.
on anything that we might want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, Ron, so I'm here to interview you, but I'd love to talk about
Okay.
myself. Don't we all love to talk about ourselves?
Yeah.
So I have lost over 100 pounds,
Okay.
and
Congrats.
I started on Atkins back in
Okay.
2006, and then I've kind of done the typical sort of up and down a little bit here and there. Um, but then I migrated from Atkins into more keto and then into carnivore.
Okay.
So
So
I,
basically, you did basically the same thing I did, but I went Weight Watchers, and then I tried the Jenny Craig's and all that, and
oh,
settled
I
on
did those too. I did
keto,
those
and yeah, and
prior to that.
then
Yep.
I've been kind of like maintenance for the last 6 months or several months to almost a year now, and then back and forth to keto to carnivore. But the only thing that messes me up is the economy and the prices of food right now. So I got to do what I got to do to budget our money accordingly. Yeah.
Right. So as far as carnivore, I find that it's very, very beneficial. And if you're going to add a few little vegetables in, that can also be beneficial for people.
Right. Right.
What we don't want to do is get our insulin too high.
No, exactly. Yeah, no. So I've been. I started my journey on the middle, actually the beginning of January 2020. But I officially my YouTube channel started on September 1st, 2020. My time I made contact with the doctor on the second or third time in that year in August, I decided they were on board with what I wanted to do after we were going to get the surgery, and we'll talk about all that. And anyways, I was 367 pounds in January of that year, and then August 17th, I was 325 because when you're doing surgery, they try to recommend you try to lose about 10% of your body weight before you have surgery.
Right.
And I did that, but I didn't want surgery after all. And I stayed with the ketogenic lifestyle for a better part of 2 years, on going on 196 weeks now. And I'm still at it, and
Wonderful.
the weight's not flying off as much as I'd like to be flying off. But we had some setbacks last year with the hip surgery, and my wife's in some personal stuff with death and stuff like that kind of like threw me for a loop. And then it's just the way it is. But overall, from where I was, the lowest I've been in 3 years is 200 pounds, and now I'm 250 pounds. But I've only gained back like 50 pounds of it in a year now, so I think that's pretty good being
Yep.
on maintenance. You know.
And that's really common for people that have gone carnivore or keto. And if they do gain back weight, they usually don't gain it all back. They usually
Right.
gain back a portion, but not at all. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
But you can relate to this too, Cathy. So when you're really
Mhm.
heavy, when you first started out, I was like losing pounds like it was no tomorrow, but it was all water weight that was coming off of me. And when I was true keto, when I was fasting and doing the 23-1, 26, 22, 20, 18, well, 24 to whatever. It was 16-8 fasting. Yeah, sorry about that. 16-8 fasting and drinking, doing everything right that I was supposed to do, and really counting my carbs to 20 or less carbs a day. The first at least a year and a half on keto there, I was pretty successful, losing an average of about 2.5 to 3 pounds a week.
Yep.
Plus all the walking that I was doing, and plus I eventually blew out both hips. I had the hip surgery done in January of this year, and the other one done back a couple of years ago, and now I'm really good to go. But yeah, it's just there's a lot we can talk and discuss when we tell the audience what's going on with everything.
Sure. And I did the same thing. So initially, when I went on to Atkins induction, I stayed on Atkins induction. I didn't, float around to other stuff. I just stayed there, and I lost consistently 3 pounds a week, all the way down. So it was really weird, but I did. Then I gained some. I'd had a divorce back in 2015. I gained 15, gained some weight. And I'm like, oh my goodness, now what am I going to do? Well, I knew what to do. Go back on Atkins induction, which is technically keto.
Right.
And so did that. And then I was having more trouble losing weight. So then I looked into, I change things up all the time.
Right.
And I looked around and I heard about carnivore. And I thought, well, I really don't need any carbohydrates. So why don't I give this a try? So I went carnivore. And I've been doing that, like I said, for 3 years. And it's not really a weight loss diet. It is a health restoration diet.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of research on carnivore. I like carnivore because it's really simple.
Yes.
Dr. Ken Berry was saying that, how much you eat when you're on carnivore, basically like any other meal plan. You eat when you're full, you stop, you eat until you're full and you stop. And that's why I like the carnivore diet weight loss program. But again, I ran out of cash at the end of the month. My rent just jacked up $150. I had to refinance my car to lower that payment to offset the money on the rent. And it's been a battle. I've been trying to get a part-time job somewhere. I was going to they wanted to hire me really bad to become a school bus driver for the small kids. And they wanted too much information from me from when I lived in South Carolina, and I gave up on that. So now I'm moving on to the next possibility. I got an interview with him next Friday, and they want to hire me full time, 8 to 4:30, which are great hours. But I need time off on Mondays every other week for my wife's appointments. And if they don't have a problem with that, then I'm good to go. She has something going on with the kidneys where she's got to get infusion shots every 2 weeks, and that's a 4-hour deal with me for that. And I need to be there with her for that. So if they're okay with that, then I'm okay with working. But it's driving. What it is, it's a paint company, and they make supplies for automobiles that say you got a wreck in an automobile, and they patch up the car and they fix it all up, and they're looking for paint to paint over it. Well, my job would be mixing up the paints and matching up the paint to the color of the car, and then loading the stuff on the van and then driving it down to the owner of the company that's looking to buy the paint. But that wouldn't be too bad, and of course the job pays $20 an hour for 40 hours a week. But that would be just to offset some of what we're not getting through retirement. If you're on retirement, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They never said retirement was going to be enough to live off of it in 2024. And I'm really going to talk politics, but I don't know how you feel, but we're far worse than we was in 24 there when Sleepy took over the current occupancy of the White House.
It has gone crazy.
At the big house, we'll just say, but and that's as far as I want to go with it, and I don't want to say anything about that during the interview because everybody shares the same beliefs I do. But we're not better off than we was. It's something that needs to get changed. I can't qualify for any extra help because I'm just over the threshold. And it just, I could go on and on about this. It aggravates me when I see people getting, 2 or 3 grocery carriages full of food and they're using food stamps and I can't get them, So there's something wrong with that.
I'm sorry you're going through that, Ron, but I hope that company gives you favor, that they have compassion over your situation.
He's willing to work with me. They want me to okay, so I got to go in the adjacent town. My wife gets out of there at 3 o'clock or 3:30, go home, bring them back, and then go back and finish up. I go, no, I'm not doing that. once I'm done there that Monday, I'm done. It's only for 4 hours that I'm giving up. I'm giving up only 8 hours a month. If they can't help me out with that, then I'll find something else. But there's a lot of companies that are hiring, but it's got to be a good fit for me, you know. But what I like about that job possibility is I can still move. I'm still going to be on my feet, and I can sit down. It's not. I worked at Hannaford for a couple of places in our cities, and that job was really rough on my feet because it was constantly on the hard floor. They
Right.
were never down, and my feet got
Right.
torn up, and they had to stop that job. And then my
Yeah.
hip blew out on me, and they had to replace my hip. But you know, and he actually went back to Hannaford, but they got some policy. They didn't rehire people that when you leave like that. So it is
Right.
what, unless you're a stellar employee, you know. But it is what it is what it is. You know, I just I know God will protect. God's always been on my side, and I know at some point
Absolutely.
it'll be there. You know, and
He's going to make a way where there seems to be no way. And it
I've
doesn't
got. I do
matter
believe
even what
in.
the government thinks they're doing or what
I
the
do believe
prices
in God.
are.
I do believe in Jesus, and we're on His timeline, not man's timeline. And I know
It'll
you
happen.
heard of flip flopping. Things are going to flip flop all in one day when this all happens. So until that day happens, I keep encouraging people just hang in there a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. And when everything gets revealed out to the general public, you're going to say, "Huh?" You know, and I can't. Bust anybody when this happens. I just got to be there to be able to support them because there's going to be a lot of upset people when they find out what's really going on, you know. So
But we have to do what we have to do.
But in the meantime, you and I and everybody that falls within our weight category, and I don't know about you, Cathy, but I got people from the Philippines and from Germany, all over the place, following my journey and my YouTube channel. They really seem to enjoy what I'm putting up, and I have 85-year-olds and 70-year-olds that are following me along to get healthy. And I thought, well, why did God put me on the planet? And this was why. This is my journey, you know, and to help other people, you know.
It is. It is. And you know, when we help other people, we help them, but we're actually helping ourselves by doing that.
Yeah.
It strengthens us. Like I'm retired and I have a job online. So I've been working online since I've been retired. I've completed a few certifications. I'm a certified food addiction advocate, food addiction advocate, a nutritional advisor, and also a insulin IQ coach.
Yeah.
So plus I'm an ordained minister. So you kind of just put them all together. And this is why I'm here. So I'm doing everything online now. And it's just such a wonderful opportunity. Like you said, you can help other people.
Yeah. And you know, maybe I might try that. You know, I could probably do the same thing you do and apply for a license or something like that, or just coach or something like that. That would be kind of cool. And, you know, I did try to go to school last year because I'm a videographer for the city there, but I'm an unpaid videographer, let's put it that way. and I last year I applied for the local community college and I got accepted, and I wanted to get my degree, my master's degree, but we had a flood in our city there that we had 10 inches of rain that fell in 3 hours, and it took down all the stuff out of the basement downstairs, and my wife was in a hospital for 5 days. I lost my car, and I just gave up on the school thing. And that was part of everything that led to one thing and led to another. And I just said, okay, I can't do this right now. Will I return back to school in that type of setting? I don't know, you know, especially when I'm seeing what's going on right now in some of the universities with the protests. I goes, now that kind of reminds me of the 1970s protests when we had the war going on. And I said, no, maybe I'll just stay home and just maybe take the road that you're taking. That might be a better fit for me because I could do that in between working if I get that job that I want to get. So, you know.
Yeah.
And
so, you know, in my book, I kind of have a chapter, something like that.
Okay.
And it's up here. Let's see where that is. And it's in chapter 6, and it's talking about the plagues of Egypt. And one of the plagues, I don't know if I can find it quickly or not, but it's about really those things that you go through in life. I can't even find chapter 6. Well, that's chapter 5. I know that. So, so in one of the plagues, what happens basically is everything gets destroyed in your life. And that's what you're describing to me. You know, you go through everything, you lose it all. Here it is. It is plague number, see if I can read that, number 5.
Okay.
And it is the plagues against the livestock.
Right.
Well, the livestock is like your livelihood. And all of a sudden, everything's coming from left, right, and center,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
lose it. But you know what? You can recover it all, just as David recovered it all.
yeah. And I listen to a lot of the prophetic prophets. Amanda
Yes.
Grace there, she's a sweetheart. I listen to her and what's going on behind the scenes, and Julie Green
Right.
and Elijah Streams, and
Okay.
I know what's going on, but I can't say anything on my channel because I don't want to get shut down like so many of them
But
have.
we
So
don't
so
need to,
so I got a good idea what's going on, and
exactly.
I know at some point when everything gets shut down and the emergency alert system gets activated, which is coming because it's going to be another shutdown before the election, and I know that's coming, but to that day happens, I'm just taking one day at a time. Things always work out, Kathy. Things always work
Sufficient is
out.
the day, but
I've gotten
also
Yeah, and I've
with
gotten everything I've ever asked for from God and then some, and I get to see another day. And at the end of the day, I got two eyes, I got two arms, I got two legs, and I can still walk. So
and it's about
I got nothing to
focus,
complain about.
right? It's
You
about
know?
focus. Are we going to
Yeah,
focus on what
yeah,
the devil's doing or the things that are happening in the world?
yeah,
Or are we
yeah,
going to focus on God? Because in the midst of darkness, the light is much brighter. So
yeah,
your
yeah,
opportunity to shine is great. So that means that this is actually opportunity time. This isn't
yeah,
devastation time. It doesn't matter what happens in the world. It
yeah.
doesn't matter what
I
the
don't know,
enemy,
and I'm
what he
sure you
throws at
probably do
you.
the same thing. But I always spend at least an hour to 2 hours in the morning in prayer and silent time. So
No, I'm
but
not as good as you.
thanking the God that I got to see today, and they're doing some work across the street. They're tearing up the sidewalk
That's
again.
okay. That's
I don't
okay.
know if you can hear that, but I don't know. But maybe it's that time of year again. No matter what street you go down, there's work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a marvelous experience helping people, and they got everything all written down in Word doc and files and video because in case I might want to write a book one day. You never know, right?
Right.
But I just enjoy helping people. And I won Citizen of the Year in 2019 for that city, and then I've gotten many documentary awards to the city for the studio for my film and photography and
Cool.
the
That's
documentaries that I
cool.
was putting out.
Congrats.
And
Yep.
so yeah, I just enjoy
So
it.
if
But
you were to give yourself an award right now for what you've done in your life, or what you've done on your journey, your weight loss journey, what award would you give yourself for? What was the greatest thing that you have done on your weight loss journey that you think, hey, that was really good? What did I do?
well, I had to think about that one for a bit. But it would be just basically helping other people and
Okay. But you had to
inspiring other people.
inspiring. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's so important that we do that. And what's been your greatest challenge throughout this whole journey? I know
Uh,
you've got a challenge
yeah,
right now.
the learning process.
No?
Okay, so from Jess from Keto Rewind was saying that she was the one that got me going on keto, by the way. She was the first YouTube channel I came along,
Yes. Yeah. It's a good YouTube channel.
I actually met her mom and dad last summer, and I plan on meeting her this year when they come up to Massachusetts. Yeah, well, they got a camp up in New Hampshire,
Yeah.
and I'm from Massachusetts, and so I don't. I just what was the question again? When
Your greatest challenge
Oh, my greatest
on
challenge
this journey.
would my greatest challenge on my journey would just be learning the process, how to cook and all that stuff there. When I first started keto, I never I was just updating my weekly updates every week, but I never put any recipes up or anything like that. And I said, well, geez, oh man, you could film cities and stuff and all that, but you don't know how to film recipes. Come on, give me a break. And I only got this much room on my countertop to work with. It's not like I got a big blown kitchen with an island, and I don't have that set up. So I got to do the best. I got to be creative. I got to do the best I can. At the very, very beginning, I'm surprised my channel survived when you looked at all some of my older videos, and they were crappy, and there was a lot of background noise. And so now what I do is when I film, I set it up on a nice towel for a background drop, so I don't have the reflection of the light. And then I just do the filming, and then I rip off the volume, that the audio, and then sometimes I do a voiceover with simple instructions, and other times just music with instructions. And they've been working out pretty good that way. But it took me a long time to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
But it's like
Life
with
is
the weight
about
loss,
learning.
it's a learning
It's a learning
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I used to,
and as of this morning, I got like I'm four or five subscribers away from hitting 1,600. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
What's holding me up is the watch hours. I still need 1,900 watch hours. I had 2,100 watch hours as of this morning because you need 4,000 total. Betty was telling me last week, focus on 4,000. Don't focus in on the 3,000. You know that because once you hit the 4,000, then you're there. But once we hit the 4,000, we're going to have cash giveaways and we're going to have random gift. I'll do like gift cards to Amazon or Walmart's, and then I want to get some merchandise. But my friend Kelly made me that sign over there that says Weigh-Keto with a coffee shop logo. I want to have something similar to that made out, but with the shape of a coffee mug,
Sure.
and that's going to be my logo for a design for a shirt, maybe for a hat or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well,
See
you've
what
got
happens
these
down the road.
plans, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's one step at a time.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like the word of God, when you grow in God, it's one step at a time, line upon line, precept upon precept, right? Here
So
a little, there a little.
Are we going live on YouTube or did you set it up
Oh, we're
already?
on live.
Oh, we're on live. Okay.
We are on live on YouTube.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. The first 10 minutes I was on, there was no sound.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were, but I wasn't sure. So I'm watching you on StreamYard because I don't see me. Let me turn on the comments.
Oh, is there? It doesn't have a live in the corner for you? It does for me.
Okay. Well,
me.
So let me go and go on my YouTube
channel.
channel.
While you're doing that,
Go ahead.
I had the same challenges as you. I don't cook.
Okay.
I've never really cooked. I've never followed a recipe in my life. I make whatever is available. And so I've discovered a couple things that have helped me tremendously. And that is an air fryer and a frying pan. And that's about all I use. Air fryer, frying pan, one or the other, because I eat meat. Take a piece of meat, and mostly I eat ground beef. You can get ground beef on sale here. I'm in Canada. So in Canada, it's about $3.99 when it's on sale and per pound. And a pound actually does mean, well, at least for a full meal, sometimes a bit more than that. And so it's like, okay, where can you eat for $4 a day? So I find that meat is actually cheap. And cheaper than buying vegetables. Our vegetables are very expensive, except for maybe in the summer they come down. So that's good. And as far as doing cooking videos, that's boring, I think. What are you going to see? You're going to see me flip an egg in a frying pan?
Okay. Yes. So I'm like you. I'm simple. I like today we're having chicken drumsticks today. Got them in the air fryer. I'll be popping them on. They're probably around 11. And the last time I did that with the air fryer, I made chicken thighs. My wife really loved them. And, I heard that she doesn't do keto, but she will eat some keto foods that I make. And I have an induction cooking thing that I bought. I really love it. It's Jason. It's an extra burner, basically. And I bought a nice new stainless steel pan set. And I do a lot of cooking with that. And, of course, I do the shackles a lot. I got a new shackles plate that's going every day at noontime, Monday through Friday. And then on weekends, I put up videos. And I'll randomly talk live, and I'll randomly just put up videos from time to time. I got over 900 somewhat videos posted on my YouTube channel. And a lot of them are my weekly adventures, what I do, how my week went, how my day is going. Right. When I go walking, sometimes I'll just pop up, I go hold my camera up and go walking and show people the nice background, what I'm seeing and stuff like that. Now, Monday, we have the Memorial Day Parade. I'll be downtown filming that, and it's only about 10-minute parade. But and then I go over there to where they start handing out the awards. I'm not going to do any of that other than just photography. But I'll film the parade, and then I may put it up live, because sometimes I did a live yesterday from the downtown area. Then I noticed it was really distorted on the video because the internet connection was really lousy. But the area downtown in our city of Leominster, I'm from Leominster, Mass, by the way, North Central Massachusetts, home of Johnny Appleseed. And it's under renovation. They made it all handicap accessible, leveled it all off, and they're putting up over maybe 50 different bushes and trees in there, and and they're going to be power washing all the monuments over there when it's complete. It's almost ready. Probably be the first week of June. They're saying. But our mayor Dean there, him and I have been friends since childhood. He's been the longest acting mayor of the Commonwealth of Wealth, over 30 years. He puts out a lot of great local events. We have a Pink Flamingo thing coming up in January. We have a summer stroll event, the winter stroll. We have the cannoli festival. I don't do cannolis, but I like to just go down there and talk to people.
Right.
And we have a food truck festival. We have all these things going. Oh, we have an Acadian festival coming up pretty soon, and all these things that go on off. And so I like to go down there, talk to the people that know me, and they
Right.
all know me from Ron's
Yeah, it
Keto.
sounds like you're a very social person.
Yeah, exactly. And I just, I'll go walking, and and I used to always be afraid, Cathy. And when I used to go walking in the very beginning, I wish I would have had more full frame photographs without this on. Okay. And it just, it is what it is for back in that particular time frame. You know what I'm talking about when I reference this, right? The diaper. But the ones that I did have, I'm very grateful. So now when I go on walking, when I'm walking and stuff like that, I make a conversation with somebody. He goes, hey, you mind I was taking a photograph yesterday, as a matter of fact. They had a pink flamingo, because we got Pink Flamingo Day coming up in our city, because it was created in our city, the plastic pink flamingo back in the 50s. And so he celebrates that one day a month, and then on June. And they had a plastic pink flamingo set up. So I was getting ready to do a selfie photograph, and the girl pulled over in the car. She goes, hey, you want me to take a photograph of you, Ron? So yeah, so she took a great straight photograph of me. And so when I'm walking, sometimes I'll ask people, hey, you mind taking a straight photograph of me? And I tell them about my weight loss and why I need a photograph. It's just to do a comparison to see where we are and see where we want to be. And eventually we want to be where I want to finish up. So that's how I get to meet a lot of friends and stuff like that. And then they show them my YouTube channel on my phone, and then they take a snapshot of it, and then they subscribe to me and they start following me,
Right.
And,
some people go on into change rooms, in a change room and at a store, and then they take a picture because it's a full length mirror.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I wish I would have known that, because I was in Kohl's last week and I had a non-scale victory. I bought some clothes. I went from a 6X shirt down to a size medium, and now I'm back up to an extra large. But even from a 6 to an extra large, I think that's fantastic.
It's still a celebration.
So when I went to Kohl's and I tried on the 2X and I tried on extra large, the 2X was too big for me, so I bought the extra large. And because yourself, all clothes material run different and stuff like that, so the extra large would be really good. And this is an extra large. You see how big it is? And then so that's a good idea. So next time I go down to there at Walmart, maybe I'll just pick up a 6X shirt and put it on and say, this was my size when I started. And I actually saved a pair of pants and a shirt from that. But the problem is I had them downstairs in the basement, and it was September 11th rolled around last year. We had 9 inches or almost 10 inches, actually 11 inches of rain. Yeah. And it wiped out everybody's stuff downstairs, and my stuff got wrecked, wiped out. I had insurance, but they wouldn't pay for flood. My car got totaled. I did get quite a substantial amount for my car. I was able to pay off all my bills and buy another one. But, and then because my wife was in the hospital for 4 days during that time. And then we had 2 dead spent. I lost my aunt and I lost my uncle 1 day apart from each other, and back in July of last year. And that kind of was rough.
I said, life happens. It's hard. It's hard, those things. Yes. But even in the midst of the difficulty, God is with us, and he'll see us through the difficulty. And it doesn't mean we have to turn to food for our comfort. That's not our
exactly.
Most right. And so you've lost a whole lot of weight. You're struggling a little bit right now because of the finances. But a door is going to open. If not a door, a window will open for you. You're hoping one day that your YouTube will grow. I never came onto YouTube to grow a channel. I came onto YouTube because I started when I started teaching this program of mine, the Kingdom Way, teaching it in churches and abroad. Then I decided that, hey, I should just put some of this stuff on YouTube. My daughter had been telling me for years, actually, 2015, she says, why don't you put your book on YouTube, which I never did. And then I saw there was a lot of people out there doing carnivore, and I thought, I guess I should stick something up there. So I stuck something up there, and now it's just an easy place to put things up and share.
Yeah, and same with me as far as that goes. The YouTube channel was never about me. It was, even though it seems like that from time to time, but it was just basically to okay, it's just. Okay, I got that on pause. Okay, I was just trying to look for your link on YouTube. So it was just about to inspire people and to document my journey to see where I wanted to take this thing. And what was the wake up call was back in 2020 in January, I had an MRI for my back because all this time he thought it was my back that was having back issues. And we were going cortisone treatments and all that. And I was going to get back surgery. And then we had anyways, if they finally, when I had to go to, I went to a chiropractor for my back, and then he realized it was my hip. And then I went to the hip doctor, and he replaced my right hip and then my left hip eventually. 2 different doctors, 2 different years. That's been all fine. January, I had my left hip out, and I the same day I was driving, and I shouldn't have been driving when I got home, and I blew out my hamstring, and that was a 2-month setback for me. And but I've been fine ever since with all that. And so when I couldn't fit into the MRI machine, I decided to do weight loss. And again, we did everything what we had talked about. And then also we said, well, you want to have weight loss surgery? And he says, I'll okay with it if you want it. I'll okay it through the insurance company. And I said yes. And then we made up all the pre-ops. We were going to Emerson Hospital, and I went over there, and we had it all set up for surgery date. And my mom passed away in 2010, and she had asked me prior to passing away. She said, Ron, I got 6 months left to live. And I said, Mom, I don't want to hear this, Mom. And I goes, yeah, but I got to tell you, what was going on with her and everything like that. And she begged me not to have weight loss surgery because she had the very first ones done in the 1970s when it was still at the time experimental. She had a lot of problems with the scopus and everything. So I said, no, I said, I said, and then I remembered what she said. And I told the doctor, I said, no, I'm not going to do this. And then that's when I got a hold of my doctor. We decided on doing the weight loss through keto and through carnivore. And it's been really a marvelous experience making contact with a number of different YouTubers like you and Keto, Jess's family from Keto Rewind, and her mom, Deborah, and Tom. I met both of them last year at the coffee shop. They 5 hours.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
They drove 5 hours just to see me. And, her daughter lives in Texas and one daughter lives in Florida. And they all visit each other over the course of the year when they're down there. And she wants to meet me this summer. They're going to invite me one day up to camp.
Jess is cool. I've watched her before for sure. And the thing about carnivore or keto is satiety, because the problem is that you're not satiated if you're going to be eating carbohydrates. You won't be satiated, really. Especially if you got more of a focus on there. Everybody needs to have enough protein. Yeah. We really need the protein, and then enough fat so that you feel satiated. And sometimes people that are overweight or that have been abusing, ignoring, not in touch with their own bodies, they've lost touch with the signals, the leptin and the ghrelin. They're not really knowing when they're satiated. But eating meat will satiate us.
But Dr. Ken Berry talks about the proper human diet all the time, and it's
all the time. That's his thing.
The meat diet or the lion diet. My friend Danielle Joy, she's doing a dead lion. So what the heck is a lion diet? It's just basically meat and salt, But it's fine if you can afford it. But this is why I wanted to go back to work, to load up my freezer again and do it that way. But I did a video a while back ago, one eating a day. I was doing like a beef and butter fast sort of type thing. And I was drinking a drink, and I looked at it. It was lemon lime, but the Gatorade. But I didn't realize it had sugar in it, and I got a lot of heat from one of the YouTubers. That I was appreciated that she had mentioned that, because sometimes I don't read the label and I'll buy something and I realize that it's not weight loss. But this is zero, and it's got a lot of electrolytes in it, and it's called Powerade. It's kind of like Gatorade, but it's got zero carbs in it, zero sugar in it. But it's got a lot of electrolytes in it, which I really like, because I do a lot of walking. A couple of weeks ago, I hadn't done this in a long time. I did like a 5-mile straight walk, and I brought one of those, which really wasn't enough. And by the time I got to the end of one street, I said, oh, geez, I was having second thoughts about walking. But I did it, but it took me like 4 hours. But I stopped at 2 stores along the way to pick up another water. And by the time I got home, I was so drenched with sweat and everything. And I said, well, once I cooled down, I was fine.
And they're quite expensive, actually.
At the gas station, I was going to buy some beef jerky. They wanted like $10 for a small little package of beef jerky.
Even so, that's going to cover you for a couple of meals.
Yeah.
So sometimes we really need to look at our budget and where our money is going, because there's Sole water. You can make Sole water, and you can find that recipe online. You can buy who is it? I can't remember his name, but people that do their own electrolytes, they make up their own.
Yeah, I've seen other people do that as well with some pink salt, and
pink salt and new salt or no salt.
I bought some of these little packages called Propel, and you take one package and you just fill up a little bottle like this with water. This is 20 ounces, and you fill it up with water. Just put one little package in, and you got your water with electrolytes. I do that once in a while too, but I
don't really use them a lot. I have them, but I don't really use them very much. Although I'll put a little, I do drink decaf coffee, and I'll put a pinch of salt in there because they say coffee is dehydrating. So that'll make up the difference, I figured. But satiety, it's so important that we have the protein somehow or another, wherever you got to cut back to get it. And, even Dr. Berry, you mentioned Dr. Berry. Well, Dr. Berry says you're better off to eat hot dogs than eat that other stuff.
Yeah. I found your link on YouTube there, so I'll share it over to my Facebook group afterwards. Oh, by the way, I got a Facebook support group called Ron's Keto Cafe Facebook support.
Cool. Okay.
I have like 400 people that follow me on there, and I post every day when I get up, Cathy. I post good morning quotes, and this is the early days of 2020. And I have like 3,000 friends on my regular page, and I wish everybody a happy birthday in the morning. I go on Friends and see who's got birthdays, and I post a lot of city stuff and stuff like that. And I'm a historian and local historian, and I post historical stuff in the past, and I'll do a lot of past to present stuff, just like with the weight loss before and afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much. Oh yeah, we were going to do skydiving too. That was one of my goals I never accomplished yet. Well, last year my aunt was going to do it with me. We went over to a place in our city. It's a couple of cities over called Jumptown, and it's like $300 or something like that, and it's cheaper if you do it during the week instead of the weekend. And my aunt she was 80 years old last year, and she was going to do skydiving with me. And I thought about it, and I said, well, you know what? I need a hip surgery out, and what if something happens and I land awkward and I blow up my hip or something like that, and I'd be really messed up. Because they don't tell you all the accidents that happen to people that if you're not healthy enough to skydive, but you have to be a certain body weight to skydive. And when I was thinking about the skydiving thing, we went down there, and I was at the time I was like 220 pounds, and so and I wanted that to be an achievement thing, that all the weight and frustration and all the depression and everything finally went, and so we decided against my better judgment, and then I found out about another place up in New Hampshire. It's a simulator. You can go into what's called the simulator, and they give you the experience of skydiving. So I think that at some point I'll do that. That'll be a better option for me.
But no, I think that the goal of skydiving is an excellent goal. And you're doing a lot of things. I always use what I call the hand. And the hand really speaks to me. I use it in almost every time I speak for something or another. But you're looking after your spiritual life. You talked about that. You spend a couple hours a day, much more than I do with the Lord. That's fantastic, right? The next one is the Peter Pointer. That's your body. It takes you where you want to go. So you've got a lot of movement. You're walking in the area and enjoying nature at the same time. Your mental health. Now, you just talked about depression.
So let me talk about all that too. Okay, so. Then I forgot to mention, I didn't really mention that, but I'm glad you brought that up, because sometimes, even though I have notes there, I didn't write down any notes today. I just wanted to do everything from, what I could remember. And I'm glad you're bouncing off of me so I can feed off you a little bit. So, so I was diagnosed with bipolar depression back before 2020. I was on a lot of medication. They kept adjusting the amounts and all that stuff over there. I had sleep apnea, I had high blood pressure, I had diabetes type 2 and all that stuff. I didn't have to take the insulin, but I was pretty close to it. And at least once anyways, I almost committed suicide, and I got this documented, so I'm not afraid to talk about it now. So when I became spiritually motivated back to God, and, renewed my faith and everything, I don't know, I'm a Catholic, born again Christian also, but and I'm a volunteer member of our local parish. I volunteer there every Friday night and do whatever they ask me to do, and I give back. And I don't only do that parish. I go to all the other parishes, and it doesn't make any difference if it's Protestant, if it's Catholic, or if it's a Jewish community. I'm just curious. I like to learn about the different, the how they do things,
Mm-hmm.
and so I do that. So I had bipolar depression, and I had sleep apnea and all that stuff there. So when I got off, when my weight started flying off, oh yeah. So when they kept me in the hospital overnight to monitor me and all that, and I the next day I said, no, I can't deal with this stuff. I got rid of all the medication. I've been off of everything, and I don't take anything for blood pressure. I don't take any medication whatsoever. I don't have sleep apnea no more. And when you lose weight, a lot of that will go away. And but before you do all that, make sure you check with your doctor first, because like Cathy, we'll both say the same thing.
For sure.
I'm not giving no medical advice, and I'm not
For
a doctor,
sure.
and they don't make any medical claims. And this is all based on my journey and get permission from my
Right.
doctor
Work with your
first.
doctor along the way.
And anything that I've needed to do, if I have, what was really great about my doctor even now, was she was on board with keto or carnivore or the Atkinson's or anything like that, Weight Watchers. If I had a question about my blood or whatever, she would just check it for me. And even if I had to spend the extra money because the insurance didn't cover the cost, I want to make sure that my insulin's not high. I want to make sure everything is good.
Yes.
So I know where I need to be, and I had a really bad case of eczema and lipidemia and all that stuff. Yeah, that's all gone. And
that's because meat heals.
Yeah,
that's my slogan actually for the Kingdom Way is healing with meat and Jesus. Meat heals, and it also satiates, and it looks after many, many different medical conditions, including mental conditions.
Yeah, and the other thing that's really helped me too is walking. I go walking every day.
Walking.
I've walked
Awesome.
50 plus miles already for this month of May. And
wow, good for you.
Sunday it was raining out Sunday, but I didn't care. I was walking in the rain and I had my hoodie on, and and then so what I do when I go walking, I take a lot of photography on the houses and anything I see that might be interesting, and something randomly like a little kid's toy that's on the lawn. And what she did was she took the seat cover off. She put a plot on there with flowers, and I thought that was cool how she repurposed the kid's toy. And then I saw a nice table out there on the sidewalk that was for a rubbish pickup.
So it says you've got an eye for beauty.
But it was solid, and it was a round table, and I was shaking like that, and all it needed was just a little bit of TLC. You could script that whole table down, revarnish it, put a nice checkerboard design on it, or a nice Monopoly board, or put a nice belt on it, make a nice card table out of it. And the next day I went over there and somebody grabbed it, so they had to say, but I took a snapshot of it and I posted it. So somebody must have saw my post and wanted the table. But, I do a lot of stuff like that when I'm walking. And I just enjoy helping people and talking to
You've
people.
got a creative edge in you. I hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you watch one of my very first videos, I was talking about my turkey gobbler, and I had a big puffy face, and I was very nervous when I'm talking. And now I'm actually talking like I know what I'm talking about, which I do.
That's awesome.
And I'm not afraid to talk and say anything.
It's amazing what God has done, where he's brought you from. And he's not done yet. He's continuing to work in your life. Yeah. Continuing to work. And you'll get back on track completely. I know you've got a lot of things going there.
Well, I never fell off track. I never fell off track there. We just had a little slowdown a little bit. That's all.
A little bit of a slowdown. And a little bit of a slowdown. And it's the job thing. Yeah. So I really hope for that job thing.
No, we know that'll happen. And the other thing I don't like about Cathy too is like last Friday at Bingo, one of my friends there, he just made another wise comment, but he said, Ronnie, I know I should pick up a lot of weight. And I said to myself, I wish people would stop judging people by how much I lost and how much I'm gaining back, because you don't know what somebody's circumstances might be going through. Okay, so I'm going to give you for instance. When I first started the Jenny Craig, I was going down there getting my food and stuff like that. I think you've been there before, and one of the counselors there told me, he said, Ron, if you see somebody that falls that's really, really skinny, don't judge them and say, what are they doing here when they don't need to be? Because they might have been as big as I was before I started my weight loss. And they're there, or maybe they just want to eat healthy, But nobody should have a problem with somebody else's, that. Life is, life and weight loss is a journey, and it takes time. It takes patience. I don't care who you are, you know,
Right.
and we all have our ups and downs, you know, and believe me, I had more downs than I had ups, but, you know, I'm having a non-scale victory. My clothes are still fitting small. I weighed
Yes.
myself in this morning.
Right.
I'm down 4 pounds for the week, and I feel pretty good, you
That's
know?
awesome. Fantastic, Ron.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not just about weight, is it? It's
No.
really about our health because we want to recover our
That's
health.
right. That's right. Because if you don't have
And
your health, you don't have any. You can
you
have
don't
$1
have
million in
anything.
your bank account, but if you don't
That's
have your
right.
health, what the heck good is it? You know?
So it's about our health. And that's
Yeah.
the thing, that it's healing with meat and Jesus, because we need our spiritual life
Okay.
too, however people exercise. And we need community. We
Yeah.
need each other. And so I'm
Community
so
support.
grateful. I'm so
I
grateful I
I
met you, that
I
you've got a
became,
support
yeah,
group.
and I became, when I first started, and I would tell your audience, just the ones that might be watching later, or the replay. When you're new to weight loss, it's so important to get family and friend support, and get involved with some Facebook support groups to help you out. And
Yeah,
I would recommend, if you're new and you're really serious about your weight loss journey, take a scale number, take a photograph of the scale number, write down the date that you took it, take full frame photographs and all kinds of photographs if you
absolutely.
can. You get
Great tip.
get measurements and keep that information somewhere, and then periodically. What I always try to do is go always back to the same location, and take
Yep.
photographs. And that's how I could do a nice comparison.
Right.
And it was very helpful with all the videos, because you could see them. Like when I post this week's 196 update, I have 3 photographs of 3 different years, including this year. And you can clearly see the difference between all 3 years, you know. And
Yeah.
I used to have all red blotches on my face and all that stuff. All that cleared away,
That's right.
you know.
Exactly.
So
It's healing. We heal from the
yeah,
inside out, and that's by the food. It's like Hippocrates says, let food be thy medicine.
yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get all those pictures beforehand. I'm trying to
No,
kind of dig
no.
some up.
I was thinking maybe we could do this again. Maybe just do a chit chat, something like that. You know, at some point when you're ready to have me back
Perhaps.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps. And but I'm really thankful that you were able to come today, that
yeah,
you
no
kind of
problem.
gave some tips. And where can they find you again?
Ron's Keto Cafe YouTube channel, and then
Okay.
Ron's Keto on Facebook. Ron's Keto Facebook support group.
Okay.
And if you click on the link and just tell me you came over from Cathy Dickson. I thought your name was
Dickson. No, it's
Dixon.
Dixon. Dickinson
Dixon.
was a
Okay.
great author.
Yeah, I
I'm an
have
author, but
I
not
have
that one.
I have a lot of problems sometimes with
That's
pronunciation of words.
okay.
It's just
That's
funny as
okay.
that. Here was the other particular about me not wanting to do recipes, because sometimes, because I never went to culinary school, and when I was doing recipes, sometimes I used to say teaspoon and I meant to say tablespoon, and that's a huge
Oh,
difference,
yeah, yeah.
So now
It could make a
yeah,
difference in the recipe.
well, yeah, exactly. Because even some of I saw Annie at Keto Focus one time. She had referenced. She said a cup and a half of baking powder, and I said, "My God, if I would have put a cup and a half of baking powder, I don't know what kind of effect that would have had on the recipe." But she meant a tablespoon and a half. I figured it out afterwards. But we all make mistakes like that we don't always catch. You know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's so
So
true. Yeah.
so I'm gonna
Well,
get
I'm
going
thankful
with
that you
daughter's
took this
dinner. But
time,
thank
but
you.
you
Yeah.
brought
Yeah.
up some things today, Ron, and if you would allow me to, I would like to pray for you. Would that be
Sure.
okay?
It's
All
fine.
right. So, Father, I thank you so much that Ron is making himself available to you, available to others, Lord, just to help them on their journeys. He's had a difficult time, and even now things come against him sometimes. But Lord, you're going to see him through it all. So I'm asking you, Father God, for favor for Ron, for a job that's going to provide for all of his needs. And I'm asking you, Lord God, for his wife, this these issues that she's having in her body, that you'll bring healing and strength to her body as well. I thank you, Lord, for this day that you've given us, because this is the day that you made, and we choose, we will rejoice and be glad in it. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you
Amen.
so much for being
Yeah,
here, Ron.
yeah. And
And
before we leave,
yep,
I'll say I always walk by faith, not by sight, and I
that's
encourage
right.
people to do the same thing. Okay, because
All right.
regardless of
Yeah.
what you're seeing on the news, I watch 2 minutes in the news in the morning, just the local sports and the weather, and then it gets shut down the rest of the day because I don't want to hear it.
No, You
Yeah.
know what's happening. You can
I
read
already
the
know what's
word.
happening, and
So
I
you
told you
don't
again
need all
before.
that.
It's on God's timeline, not on man's timeline.
Everything is in God's
You know,
timeline, and
you
it's
know.
going to happen for you,
Yeah,
Ron.
yeah,
Even
and I believe it will too, because I know something's going to happen pretty soon, something marvelous, but it is what it is, you
it
know.
is what it is. Well, thank you for being here,
Yeah.
and we
All
will
right.
see you around
All right.
the
Thanks,
keto
Cathy.
carnivore community. Bye
Okay.
for now. Oop. Okay. And everybody, I just want to invite you to participate with me if you would like, or with Ron to go to his channel. I'll put the link below. It's not there just yet, but I will get it there. And but come join me if you like on Thursdays at noon for a carnivore chat. It's in my Zoom room 499-365-9481. Passcode is 123456. How easy could that be? And then we go through the Kingdom Way book, this book, which is available on Amazon if you want. And we go through that on Thursday evenings, 7 p.m., same time. There are no fees with either one. It's just an act of love, and that's it. We have a great little group of people that gather together. We talk about God. We talk about food. We talk about healing with meat and Jesus. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here.